Hello and welcome to Runkle of the Bailey. My name is Ian Runkle. I'm a Canadian criminal defense and firearms lawyer. Recently shot my first ever 3-gun match. I had an absolute blast. I'm hoping to do a follow-up video. I'm hoping I'm going to get some good footage so that I can share that with you guys. But for right now, I'll share one bit, which is that I had a handgun malfunction, and it was entirely my fault. It was a cleaning issue and a maintenance issue. It needed to be kept cleaner, and it needed to be oiled. So when I got home, the thing to do, of course, was clean it and reapply oil. Which brings me to a bit of a rant about these things. This is an all-in-one cleaning kit. If you're a gun owner, you've probably either owned one of these or have owned one of these. This one is labeled as Herter's, but they didn't manufacture it. These are for sale. I think Cabela's sells them as the Range Max, but I'm not sure about that. If I wanted, I could have these going out the door as merch with Runkle of the Bailey on them. I don't. You're not going to see that. These are not a great kit, and they kind of sucker a lot of newbies. I've been given several of these by people who know I'm into guns, and they go, what sort of gift should I get them? Oh, right, a cleaning kit. But lots of people buy their first gun and walk out with this cleaning kit and find that they get home and they don't have all the stuff they need to clean it, because these things are sold as all-in-one, and the first thing they're missing is solvent, and the second thing they're missing is oil. Can't really do a proper clean in oil without the solvent and the oil. Now, they're not terrible in terms of what they include, and I'm going to hopefully be able to show you on the camera, but if not, I'll splice in a picture later. But they've actually improved this as well from some of the versions. So we've got, our brass brushes, we've got our sort of cloth brushes, you've got jags for use with the patches, you've got patches, of course. You've got these assemble-it-yourself brass rods. Of course, lots of gun owners are saying, yeah, I know, I had 3 of those. But the big improvement over some models is actually this, which is a pull-through cable, which lets you use those same brass brushes and cloth brushes as pull-throughs. So that is a big improvement. I'm glad they included it. However, they didn't actually include a proper place to store it. You can see in the foam, there's just an indentation. And of course, the first thing it does is it comes apart into a big springy thing that is really difficult to put back in the box. So I am just going to fold that up and set it aside. I really like the idea of these kits. I like the idea of there being sort of an all-in-one solution that you could just buy off the shelf and be ready to go. It doesn't need to be perfect. It doesn't even need to be, all that great. I know you can assemble your own kit of really good stuff that works really well. But I do think that there's a good niche for something that's just an all-in-one package that you can throw into your trunk, take to the range, just something that you don't mind if it gets beat up a little, but can maybe save you in a pinch. Or if you're a newbie, can be your first buy before you go and figure out what you need and, assemble a better kit. That said, I wish these things were better. I wish that they were a more inclusive kit. As mentioned, one of the things I would love to see these kits start including is, the solvents and the oils. Most of them don't even include a bottle for solvents and oils. So I get that they might not have a deal with, Hops to provide, solvent. And I will actually mention Hops does make a kit that includes solvent and oil, both of which are Hops brand. But fair ball, right? I don't care really who makes it, so long as it's decent and it's in there. But even if they just included some sort of, bottle that I could fill up myself with my own product of choice, just so I have it all in that same kit, that would be fantastic, because it's really nice, the idea that I can just take this and, throw it in my trunk and be ready. Now I have to remember other things that I have to bring. That's kind of defeating the purpose. There's a bunch of other stuff that I would love to see them include, or at least include, in something where I could add it. One of the big things is a toothbrush, although ideally proper, plastic bristles on one end and brass bristles on the other. Some cleaning kits do include those, as well as plastic picks. I've not yet found the thing that I needed the picks for, but I am not exactly the firearms expert here. This is my rant. Don't take this as like gospel of some firearm guru. I am not, gun Jesus. I am not any of the people who are way better at this. You should know when you're taking, if you're reading this as advice for what to put in your cleaning kit, I scored pretty much dead last in the 3-gun. So, yeah. And when I say pretty much, I beat the people who disqualified. That's my score. But there's stuff that I like to include, you know, just from my own personal thing. And you, as I said, take everything with a grain of salt. You may find different solutions work better, and I am not an expert. But one of the things, other than the solvents and oils, that I like to include, Q-tips. They're cheap. They're, you know, and you can reach into difficult to access places, sometimes places that you can't get to with the toothbrush, and you can clean them. And you, because they're sort of white, you can also see if they've accumulated fouling when you rub them against. You can make sure that you've got all of those little difficult places cleaned. So I would love to see, you know, Q-tips or off-brand Q-tips or whatever included, but that's something I've not seen in any of the packages. Another thing I always like to throw into mine, and that you might find useful to think about, this is a puppy pee pad. They sell them in giant packages at, you know, whatever pet store. And basically these are sort of a plastic backing and a cloth front, something that, you know, that your puppy can maybe do its business on and doesn't leave a giant mess in your house. The reason why I love these is that if I'm cleaning in my house, I'm probably on the dining room table. My wife does not appreciate it if I get hops and gun oil on the kitchen table. Hops, of course, has a very persistent and distinctive smell, and gun oil tends to stick to stuff and get into tight spaces. It's hard to clean up. So if you just set this down, it absorbs any spills or any liquids, and then you can just get rid of it by folding it up and throwing it in the trash. That's great at home. These are even better at the range, because if you have to do cleaning at the range, one of the things you'll have trouble with is finding a clean surface where you're not also being a jerk. Because if you do this on one of the shooting tables, well, then you're probably leaving residues behind. And I can guarantee you the next guy who happens to be shooting in a white shirt or some shirt he likes doesn't appreciate it when he's got a big oil smear because you couldn't properly clean that up off the table. If you've got something to throw down, you don't have to worry about it. You also don't need to worry about it if there's grit or, you know, grime, whatever is there. You know, this gives you a clean surface, a clean disposable surface. So I love these things. I wish that more kits included something like this, but this is kind of a disposable option. If I was doing something like if I was making a kit, what I'd probably include is something like a roll of latex that could just be laid out and then later cleaned at home. You know, rolled back up, still dirty, just so that you have at least a clean surface and you're being polite and respectful to the next range user. So that is something I wish that they thought about, and I haven't seen a kit yet that thinks about it. Somebody, you know, it might even be possible if the kit was designed right to even just use the surface of the kit itself, although then you've got to figure out, you know, what you're doing when you throw it back in your bag or in your car. But this one is cloth covered, so you don't want to get oil or anything else on this because you're never going to get it out. Not ideal. I may actually, if I decide to keep this box, take a blade and just cut the cloth out. I don't know what it looks like underneath, but that might improve it. Another thing I always like to toss in, and these are, I'm not sure if you can see these well, they're little makeup pads. I first started using these for leather work, started stealing them from my wife, which to her chagrin, but she made me start buying my own. But they are, if you get the right brand, they're not linty, and you can use them to apply all sorts of chemicals. So if you want to apply oil, you can use that, but they also soak things up really well. So you can soak up extra oil with these. Another thing I would like to include or see included is a little bottle of soap, because once you're done getting hops and oil all over your hands, you might want to clean that off, especially given all the lead residue. Now, you might think, I mean, another option would be to throw in some latex gloves. That would also work. But soap is great, and these things would actually work fairly well for drying your hands off. I may also try some of those little, they make little pellet sort of towels. But all of these things would make for a much better all-in-one kit that you could take to the range and so forth. I'm thinking I may try to improvise one of these myself. I do a little bit of leather work, so I'll probably make it sort of like a leather tool roll. If that goes well, I'll post a video up on that. The other thing that, of course, everybody finds when you buy these things is that the components themselves are not great. The big point of failure that you will experience is these things, because one thing that'll happen is they may bend, but most likely the little joins where they've got screw threading, those often fail. You know, it snaps through, it breaks where one joins to the other, and then you end up having to replace that. Better quality control on that would be fantastic. I don't think I know of anybody who's, you know, really used these in any serious way who hasn't gone through at least one set of rods just by breaking them. So that's always something to think about, is that you may end up having to replace those. Not so bad if you're cleaning a pistol with these things, because if you break a rod, you can pull out another and you've got more than you need. But if you've got a rifle with a longer barrel, you might need all the rods you've got. Anyway, this is just kind of a frustration. I wish these things were better designed, especially given that they're often sort of the first recourse of the newbie, and that it'd be really nice to have something that I could reliably just grab and toss into my, you know, my trunk and know that I was good for if I needed to cleaning at the range. I'm probably not ever going to make a Runkle of the Bailey branded cleaning kit. If I did, it certainly wouldn't just be this with, you know, my label on it. But that seems like way too much of a hassle. And as I said, I'm really good on firearms law. I am not the best ever firearms person. I am still very much learning a lot of that. So if you have suggestions as to things to include or whatever else, toss them in the comments below. As I said, I'm going to try to build myself a kit, so tips would be great. And yeah, let me know sort of what you think. In terms of next videos, I've got an interview that I really need to get finished editing and posted up. It's old. The audio quality will be poorer because I've got a new mic since then. But at this point, it's doing a disservice to the very important and illustrious person I've interviewed on that one. So I want to get that out there. As I said, I also want to get a video out of my 3-gun footage, if any of it worked, and just talk a little bit about that, because it was a really amazing experience. I want to thank everybody there. One of the big things that I've found is that in the gun community, I haven't really met a jerk. Which means it's probably me, but everybody I meet is incredibly generous with their time. One of the things, you know, just as a random aside, there's lots of people saying, hey, you're doing this wrong, you should try this. That's fantastic. When my gun failed, somebody else was like, oh, use mine. Somebody noticed that I was using a very improvised system for carrying magazines and said, hey, let me lend you something. My whole setup was lent to me. All of this is, you know, it's just a real testament to the community. It's an amazing community that's out there. The other thing I'll point out is that this 3-gun match was raising money for the stallery. I'm not sure how much money in total was raised. I'm sure that'll be posted soon. I might have missed it, but it's really great to be able to come together, have an amazing time with people, learn an amazing amount, and at the end of the day, it's helping a good cause. So thank you. I also want to thank my Patreon supporters here, and I'll go through at the $50 level: Jonathan Wheeler, Jason Elliott, Canada's National Firearms Association, Kyle Martin, Jean-Guy Toussaint, Ivo Nedev, the CCFR, and the Canadian Shooting Sports Association. At the $30 level, Sights and Arms Limited and Marc-Olivier Damour. And at the $20 level, Matt Ward, Mark Whittington, Dale Nesbitt, Cameron Johnson, and Andrew Elsich, as well as everybody at the $10 level who will be in the crawl immediately following. Thank you for watching. I hope this has armed you with knowledge, and hopefully see you guys at the next 3-gun match. Till then, cheers.